In this video, I'm going to tell you why I think, in my opinion, it is time for Apple to bring back or come back into the Wi-Fi router space. And I'm going to tell you the story of why I came to that conclusion. So let's get to it. Okay, let's start with the story. A few weeks ago, I found myself updating my airport time capsule. Yes, I still own it. You can see the box right back here that I still have my airport time capsule that had a 2 terabyte hard drive. And it was both getting full and it was really slow in the backups because of the way that I have my system set up. I no longer use the Wi-Fi from that router. I have an Orbi system from Netgear. It's really good, Wi-Fi 6. You're either seeing it on screen or it's right by here. I have that one, and what I did was I connected through Ethernet my airport time capsule so I can still do the backups without having to worry about connecting an external hard drive or anything like that, because I actually do like the convenience of that. Not to mention, both me and my wife do backups for their computers, and we don't have to worry with someone using it and backing up right now or anything like that. So I updated it to a 4 terabyte SSD, the regular SSD, the 2.5 SSD drive, which is the one that is used on older laptops, and it greatly increased the speed of my backups now. Greatly increased it, and I obviously have a lot more space left to do backups since I doubled the space while I was doing the updates. It was kind of inexpensive considering how solid states are. I bought it around Black Friday, so I got a pretty good deal, so I can't complain. But that got me thinking, why do I have to be doing this, opening my airport time capsule, risking damaging it? Why doesn't Apple release a new one? And that is why I'm making this video, to plead, if Apple at all is watching this, it's time to give the time capsule an update. It's time to upgrade it. I'm going to give you a little bit of the story of how Apple got into the Wi-Fi space. They started because Linksys system and other systems, but the one that you saw the most, and I've shown it before, is this blue one that should be right here, or you should be looking at on the screen. It is the ugliest thing you ever seen. It is not. It doesn't go with any kind of decor whatsoever. So it was stressful, especially if you wanted to keep a place nice looking or a desk nice looking. Unless you kept it under the desk and you had, instead of a glass desk, which was popular at that time, you had a wooden desk. That was the only way of covering it up. But you know, if you put a desk in front of it, you're probably gonna cut off some signal from it also. Apple got into the space because they saw that they were ugly, and aside from that, they were not actually improving that much on speeds, wireless speeds, and Apple knew that wireless internet was the future. So they released the first one. You should be seeing it on screen or right beside me once again. It had a UFO kind of shape. It looked really nice for its time. It still actually looks pretty nice. I actually still enjoy it even more of the model that came afterwards, after that one. So they did a pretty nice job with it. That one didn't have a time capsule though. At least I don't think it did have a time capsule. But then they released a newer version, which I actually still have. This doesn't work, but I still have it here with me. This is the second version that they released of the airport time capsule. This had a hard drive in it. I know you can't tell, but it's actually pretty heavy. You can see how big it is, how wide it is also. But you can also see from behind it had 3 Ethernet ports, 1 USB, which almost none of today's routers include these days, because they don't want you to have some external storage attached to them. And they even had the lock. Apparently, for some reason, they thought these were going to be stolen, so they had the lock on it also. This one doesn't work, but I just wanted to show you guys that I've had them for a long time. Then obviously I switched from this to the airport time capsule, and I was using that on my home with another airport extreme to extend the Wi-Fi range. But eventually I saw that it was struggling a little bit more than usual, so I decided to get the Orbi, and that's the system that I have set up now. It is a Wi-Fi 6 system. It was pretty expensive for its time, over $500, but I love it. I love it. I honestly love it. And that's why I think that it's time for Apple to get back into the Wi-Fi router business. Uh, Obviously, if they do it, it has to be a tri-band wireless system. It cannot be dual band. It has to be tri-band, because when you have a tri-band system, in most cases, that third band only communicates between satellites. It doesn't communicate with any other device other than the satellites. So it'll keep the internet as good as it possibly can, considering the space and the stuff between where you put each one of the satellites. And it actually, in my house, it works just fine. I have 200 megabytes, which is what I have on that home. I have it almost all throughout the house, so I can't complain about that. I know that there are, as I said before, other better hard drives for in the case of the time capsule, but it's M.2, and M.2 tends to be really far more expensive, and it gets to a point where no matter what technology of Wi-Fi you have, this is the highest bit rate you're going to get. And in my opinion, the SSD, the 2.5-inch SSD, does a decent enough job for me to kind of come to the conclusion that maybe a M.2 drive is not necessary. Maybe they can prove me wrong. I don't know. But then again, it's going to increase the cost. And if you guys haven't gone to your nearest Best Buy or tech place where you buy your technology from, they're getting really expensive. My Orbi, as I said, was over $500, and it was just Wi-Fi 6. A few months or a year later, the Wi-Fi 6 e-router came out. It was $1,200. I believe it still is for a tri-band. And I'm not even gonna bother with the Wi-Fi 7. It's over $2,000. So they have to figure out a way of giving you good tech, but obviously at a reasonable price, because if not, nobody's gonna buy it. Which is the problem that I think they will have with the Apple Vision Pro. But I'll leave that for another day. We're talking about, and I've already distracted enough from the topic. So anyways, I just wanted to indicate why I think, in my opinion, it is time for Apple to get back into the router business. I love the fact that both me, my wife, we can be backing up at the same time. We don't have to be switching around, and I don't have to worry about connecting an external hard drive to be able to do the backups or anything like that. If it's connected to power, I have it for it to do a backup once a week. If I have it on power, it'll do it on its own. I don't even have to worry about it. So I love that. And I wish Apple would get back into that in some form. They will give us that once again. Anyways, do you agree? You don't agree? Leave the comments down below. While you're down there, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified when we have new videos. The only way you can do that is if you're signed in with your Gmail to either your YouTube app or your favorite browser on youtube.com. Believe me, not just me, but any other YouTuber that you like their content, even if they don't say it, we'll greatly appreciate it. As always, we're available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and X, and obviously YouTube at J.R. Abrams Tech, so you can stay up to date with the latest news or rumors about tech. Until next time.